Hello students, if you remember in last period we have started with the beat. When the two tuning fork of nearly equal frequencies sounded together, then it is seen that alternate maximum sound can be heard as well as minimum sound can be heard. Maximum sound is said to be waxing, minimum sound is said to be waning. Both we have seen in last period. The conditions for waxing and waning also we have seen in terms of one equation, in terms of amplitude and in terms of time period, that also we have finished. Now this is a topic where we are going to learn application of beats. So what exactly application the beat has? The first application of beat is what? To tune the instrument, tuning a musical instrument. So the first application we can say to tune the musical instrument. So what exactly this application is that we have to see. So that in this case the musical instrument can be tuned. Tune means their frequency get matched together by using this phenomenon of beat. See, might be when, just take one example for this, might be when we go to listen, probably there is a very rare chances to go to listen musical concert or we can say event. In that event, initially before starting the orchestra also, what that peoples are doing, the people who is going to use the tabla or who is going to use the harmonium, who is going to use the mic, what they will do, they initially try to blow that particular things, that instrument, they just apply some force, try to play that instrument. Still they have some problem, then they will just little bit adjust the instrument. So what exactly they are doing? They are just making some initial arrangement with that instrument, and that is nothing but a one type of tuning. So that whenever the sound gets produced by that instrument, that sound must be melodious. For that it is very essential sometime to tune the musical instrument. Suppose we have the two musical instruments, both are same. Suppose the two flutes we have, or suppose two tablas we have, and we want to just adjust one is a damaged one, that means we want to tune this unknown that musical instrument, this is known musical instrument. We want to make this produce a sound wave similar to this. So what they will do, they will just match their frequencies together, and when the beat produced, when both the instruments are played at a time, we can hear the sound. If the sound heard is zero sound get heard, means only maximum and minimum sound can't be heard, just like a beat. If beat get formed by playing both the instrument, beat get created by that two instrument, means what? We can hear alternate maximum and minimum intensity sound can be heard. So the two frequencies are different, so that we hear maximum and minimum sound. When we tune the instrument such that we can't hear the beat, in the sense what? There is only maximum sound or only minimum means zero sound. Zero intensity sound or maximum intensity sound can be heard. Only these two probable conditions are there. Suppose when we tune the two instruments, when we play them, we can't hear the maximum and minimum sound. That means what? Beats are not formed. And when the beats are not formed, the two instruments, we can say, they get tuned together. So that is one of the first application of the beat. It is used to tune the musical instruments. That is the first application. Second application is what? They can be used in it is radar. Radar might be all of you are well known about. It is one of the instrument, and by this instrument you can measure the velocity of any aircraft coming toward you. That is nothing but a radar, that instrument. This radar, after from this, and they have just taken sonar. As we have learned this sonar in 10th standard, I think. It is used to measure the depth of the sea. Sonar instrument is ultrasonic wave, moves downward, reflected wave again collected, and accordingly we can find out what is the depth of the sea. So that is nothing but a sonar. Similarly, radar. In case of radar, microwaves are emitted by this instrument radar toward the air. Suppose some aeroplane is coming from this, microwave incident on this, and as it is moving, the wave get reflected back. So reflected wave again captured by this radar instrument, and by calculating their variation, initially plane is here when they get incident. Now when they get reflected, plane comes here. So this would be the difference. So by that difference they can find out how much is the velocity of that aircraft. So this is one of the second application of this application of beat. In this the phenomenon of beat is used. Initial incident and reflected wave. Thus they will create a beat because there are two different frequencies. By that you can find out the velocity of aircraft or depth of the sea also. Apart from this, same concept might be all of you learn about in some movies they have shown. So some traffic police is standing with some gun, and that gun doesn't have a bullet, it has some waves. Just they point out that gun toward the vehicle which is coming fastest with some velocity coming toward him. Just point out the gun toward that vehicle and just see in the meter. If by that gun, if the velocity of that particular car is less, it's fine. But it is greater than that limit of the road, then this pointer shows it is moving with this much velocity. And if that violate the laws or traffic laws, then that traffic police can call or just catch that particular car person and just fine accordingly. So that is nothing but about traffic gun. Traffic police use that gun that is said to be speed guns to measure the speeds of vehicle. Depending on the same phenomenon of beats, we can measure the speeds of the vehicle, and that is again the speed guns. In speed gun used by traffic police, mostly in foreign countries they are using. India today, up till now, we have not used such type of guns, I think. So in foreign countries, definitely they will use such type of gun. Automatic cameras they have used for this. So same thing, this is again the second application of the phenomenon of beat. Apart from this, might be all of you are well known about sonography. When we are feeling something is wrong with our body and that we can't visualize from our eyes, then what we will do? We'll went to the doctor. Suppose I have the stomach pain, I went to the doctor. If doctor get a diagnosis, it's well and good. If doctor didn't get diagnosis, still what the doctor suggests? Doctor suggests that you go do your sonography of this part and come with that report to me. In that sonography, internal organ can be seen. So sonography is said to be Doppler sonography. If you remember, we have learned Doppler effect. In 11th standard, we have learned the Doppler effect. So here either source is moving or listener is moving or both are moving, relative motion. So that type of Doppler effect is there, that already we have learned. Cis condition also we have seen. So this phenomenon of beat is also used in Doppler sonography. So this is again nothing but a application. And the third application, unknown frequency of sound note can be determined. Suppose some sound wave is coming whose frequency we don't know. We want to find the frequency of that unknown sound, then we can find out that frequency. How can we find out? Just take the another instrument source which has some frequency, and this is a frequency coming from somewhere, another unknown sound. The source whose frequency we want to find out. This is unknown frequency source which will produce sound wave. We want to find out frequency of this unknown source. Take a known frequency source. This is known frequency source. This is unknown, that we want to determine. This is known. So what we will do? Just try to switch on both the sources at a time. So they will produce what? Sound waves. And if we hear maximum sound, after some time minimum sound, waxing and waning of sound means what? The two sources have nearly equal frequency. But when we can't hear the maximum and minimum sound, only zero we can't hear. In that case, what we can say? Both the sources have tuned together, they have same frequency. And we know the frequency of this at that time, adjusting its frequency, we know this. And if the beat produces zero intensity, means what? The frequency of this source is equal to this. And that is already well known to us. In this fashion, we can determine unknown frequency sound note by using the phenomenon of beat. Apart from this, next topic is what? Characteristics of sound. Now, if you remember, we have learned sound waves little bit. Now here the characteristics of sound wave, we have to consider characteristics of sound. So let's start with this. CH characteristics of sound. So let's start with the characteristics of sound. Sound can be characterized or distinguished from each other in terms of three factors. And that three factors they have given. First is said to be loudness. So it is loudness. First parameter by which sound can be identified, distinguished, that is loudness. Second factor that can be used to identify it, it is said to be pitch. So it is pitch. And third factor, it is said to be quality. Quality, or sometimes said to be timbre. So these are the three different characteristics by which sound get differ from each other. So what exactly this means? So first of all, loudness. Okay, some teachers taught very loudly, just like me. My voice is very loud. Some students say that, sir, your voice is very loud, that we can hear it in this classroom as well as outside the classroom we can hear your voice. That is said to be loudness. Some teachers are such that they are talking, just teaching the students in front of blackboard, but even the students sit on the first or second bench can't hear the sound of that teacher. Means what? That teacher has less loudness is low. Just like me, loudness is very high. We can hear the sound at a long distance. So in short, what is not loudness? Loudness means what? Intensity of sound produced by the source is said to be loudness. If it will produce more intense sound, it is more loud. Less intense sound, less loud. So might be we are well known about loudspeaker. Loudspeaker is one of the instrument which will make a small voice into bigger voice. So loudness get increased. That's why it is said to be loudspeaker. So same voice would be louder outside the speaker. That is loudness. So loudness means what? Amplitude of the sound is more, or intensity of sound is more, then we can say the sound is loud. That is one of the characteristics of this. So in your book they have mentioned what exactly when someone speaking with us, the same sound we have inserted on our ears and they will exert some pressure on our ears. So in your book they have given that pressure, maximum loudest pressure human being can hear is 28 pascals and minimum is 2.0 into 10 raised to power minus 5 pascals. These are the pressure, loudest sound and the minimum sound for human being. Apart from this, just see in your book what they have mentioned. They have just mentioned one parameter. That parameter is what? Here, the loudness can be measured in decibels. Decibel is one of the unit. That is nothing but we know this dB. dB is a decibel. Is a unit to measure the intensity of sound. That is said to be loudness. And it depends on one factor. That factor is nothing but in your book they have shown it as beta. Beta equal to 10 log to the base 10 I divide by I0. So this is one of beta is a factor, and here I0 is certain minimum intensity of sound. When I equal to I0, this becomes 0. The beta equal to 0. Apart from this, just see, might be if you remember we have learned what is meant by bell. Decibel we have seen. What is meant by bell? Bell means what? 1 decibel is equal to 1 divided by 100 bell. 1 divided by, not 100, 1 divided by 10. 1 divided by 10 bell. Another smaller unit of that measurement of this loudness. Apart from this, they have mentioned the normal. So somebody is speaking to someone else or giving some speech. What is the normal range of loudness produced by that speech? The normal range that they have mentioned in your book is 10 dB to 60 dB for speech. If the distance between a source and observer, just like a student and me, that they are separated by a distance of 1 meter apart from each other, then the loudness would be, for speech, loudness would be the 10 dB to 60 dB. Apart from this, another instrument they have made, just we know decibel. Similarly, another phenomenon is there, another instrument is there, we can say the loudness of different frequencies would be different. Still they have the same intensity. Frequency we get change, loudness get change accordingly. And for this, phone is a measure of loudness. One of the instrument loudness unit other than decibel bell, another unit is there, that is said to be phone. Phone is used to measure the loudness. It is equal to loudness in the sound in decibel of any equality loud pure tone of frequency 1000 Hertz. If you see the last line, it is equal to loudness in decibel of any equalities loud pure tone of frequency 1000 Hertz. Then that is said to be phone. And phone is nothing but not a cell phone, okay? It is another phone. It is unit to measure the loudness. Now let's go. This is about loudness we have learned up till now. Let's go to the pitch. Pitch means what? When two sources of sounds are there, they have different frequencies. Then we can identify the difference between the two sources by their frequencies, and that is said to be pitch of the instrument. So two sound note of same amplitude or same loudness can be identified as a different one by their frequencies, higher frequency or lower frequency, and that are said to be pitch. Pitch of the sound. Second parameter, just see, sensation of sound, which helps the listener to distinguish between high frequency and low frequency. That sensation which will decide higher frequency, lower frequency, is called as a pitch. And it is seen that pitch for a female voice is higher than that of pitch for male voice. Remember, this point is very important. Female voice has higher pitch than the male voice. That is the reason why the female voice is melodious than the male in human being. Let's go to third. So this is nothing but about pitch. Let's go to third, quality or timbre. If the two sound note which has same loudness, same frequency, means same pitch. Two sound note of same amplitude, loudness and same pitch can be identified by another parameter, and that is said to be quality of that sound. And quality, or it is said to be timbre. So that quality or timbre is nothing but what? Quality depends on how many frequencies higher than the fundamental frequencies exist in the sound note, that will decide the quality. If you remember, we have learned the propagation of sound wave through the pipe open at one end, close at other end. Pipe open at both end. At that time I have told you the quality of sound produced in a pipe open at both end is melodious, good quality of sound as compared to close at one end. Why? Because all frequencies are present. In case of pipe close at one end, all frequencies and harmonics are not present, so its quality is less as compared to quality sound produced in a pipe open at both end. If you have just revised that topic, pipe open at one end, close at other, that, and pipe open at both end, if you understand that phenomenon, then you get this quality. So this is nothing but what? Quality. Apart from this, sometimes some noisy voice can be heard. See, suppose our class is started, before teacher entered in our class, lot of students are speaking with each other. Okay, lot of communication. First bench, the two students are speaking. Last bench, two students are speaking different thing. These are the different thing. There are 50 benches in the class. So 50 different communication is going on in the class. And when I am standing outside the class, I can't hear anyone communication. Why? Because all the sound wave coming from 50 benches mixed together, and it will produce something noise. Something unwanted sound can be created outside, and that is said to be noise. Unwanted. We can't do anything, or we can't understand anything from that source. That is said to be noise. But what about one bench? Communication is going on. 50 bench, 50 communications are going on, but outside the classroom, it is nobody can hear them. Why? Because their voices mixes together and we can't hear anything, and that is nothing but a noise. Unwanted component comes in a sound wave, that is said to be noise. Apart from this, these frequencies have some scientific relations with each other, and that is called as a musical scale. In India as well as in Western music, they have the scale. Just might be all of you are well known about sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni, sa. These are the 8 words. These are the 8 words which has different frequencies, and that frequencies they have given as 240, 270, 300, 320, 360, 400, 450, 480 hertz. For first sa, it is 240, re 270, ga 300, ma 320, and so on. So these are nothing but a musical scale in India. Apart from that, they have just mentioned in your bracket, just like a sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni, sa, they have just mentioned do, re, mi, fa, sa, do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti, do. That is another thing. Some countries can use this. We are using sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni, sa. So remember, so these are the musical scales. Apart from this, let's go to next. Musical instruments we have to see. What is a musical instrument that we have to see under this? So musical instruments are of different type of musical instrument. That instrument produces what? Voice. So voice can be produced by musical instrument in different way. So let's start with musical instrument. What is the musical instrument is? There are 3 different ways by which we can hear the sound or produce a sound wave. Sometimes by vibrating a string just like guitar, we can produce a sound. So it is said to be string instrument because they have the string, and just vibrate the string, it will produce sound wave. So that type of instruments are said to be string instrument. String instrument. Instrument which have the string to produce a sound wave that are said to be string wave. What is the second one? Second one is what? Wind instrument. What is meant by wind instrument? Some instruments are there in which we want to blow the air. We want to blow the air, that are said to be wind instrument. Just like a flute, we know the flute. If you hold the flute, we have to blow the air in the flute. So it work on the wind, blowing of air. So that is said to be wind instrument. And third type of instrument is said to be percussion instrument. That is percussion instrument. These are the instrument which work on percussion. Means what? Some membrane is stretched, and when stretched membrane, we just apply some force on it, it will produce a sound. That is just like a tabla or dhol. That is nothing but a percussion instrument. Apart from this, the musical instrument can be either string type of instrument or wind type of instrument. Wind is used to produce, air is used, blowing of air is used to produce a sound wave. The plucking of string is used to produce a sound wave, and here pressing some stretched membrane, it will produce a sound wave. So these three type of musical instruments are there basically. In string instrument, again there are three type of instruments. String, again there are three type of instrument. What that three type of instruments are? Pluck a string instrument. Pluck a string instrument by fingers, just like a tanpura might you have learned. Tanpura, just they will hold in our hand and they will pluck like this. Pluck the string like this. That is nothing but one of the thing. Tanpura, sitar, guitar and veena. Guitar also we have to just use the fingers and just stretch it like this. Stretch means what? We are plucking the string, it will produce a sound wave. So that is pluck string type of musical instrument. Second is blow string instrument. In this instrument, strings are played by blowing some air. So just like a violin, sarangi, these are the blow string type of instrument. The third one, stuck string instrument. String is stuck by a stick. String is stuck by a stick. So see, might be they have given example santur and piano. Santur and piano. String is stuck by some stick, and just apply that stick to vibrate the string and it will produce a voice. That is nothing but this. Wind type of instruments again are of three types. First is free wind type. Free wind type means what? Just like a mouth organ is there, harmonium is there. Free wind type. In this instrument, free brass reeds are vibrating by blowing some air in it. The brass reeds start vibrating, just blow the air. So that are said to be free wind type. Edge type, blow the air or blow the wind to one edge of the instrument. It will produce a melodious voice, just like a flute. We have to blow suppose this is a flute, we have to blow it here at to one edge, it will produce a sound wave. So that is edge type of wind instrument. And third is reed pipes. Reed pipe means what? The example of reed pipe is nothing but what? Saxophone and clarinet or bassen and bugle they have given. Just rectangular part of the wood which has just finger press. When we press it, the blast of air come from other side. Suppose this is a piano or saxophone button. If we press it like this, some sound get created. When we press it, blast of air comes here and it will produce some sound wave. And that's why blast of air is there. That's why it comes in wind instrument. And the last one is percussion instrument. These are very simple to understand. Just like a tabla, stretch membrane, just apply some force on it, it will produce a wave. So a sound wave, that is said to percussion instrument. The sound produced by setting a vibration in stretch membrane. Setting a vibration in stretch membrane. To create a vibration in stretch membrane, we have to apply some force on it. So one of the best example, tabla, drum, dhol, mridangam. These are nothing, duffly. These are nothing but what? The types of this percussion instrument. So this percussion instrument may be made up of some membrane, or it may be made up of some metal type of things, and that they stuck against each other with a beater, they will produce this. Just like a jhanja might be all of you learn, just two plates, just collide them, it will produce sound. So that comes also in this. So these are nothing but what we have just seen type of musical instrument. Just try to revise it once, just read it from your book, you get a total thing about this. Just might be this theoretical part, so I have not written much more on the blackboard. So just read it, you will definitely get what exactly this. So in this fashion we have completed this chapter. In next video we start the chapter current electricity. Okay, then we'll go further with the current electricity. So please students, prepare well. Again, one important thing to tell you that I have found that when I have seen my videos, like views and likes of my video, it is seen that some students can't see the oscillation first video, directly jump to third. Okay, directly jump to third and then fourth. For example, suppose oscillation video, I will just show it here. What is the problem with the students? What the students will make a mistake. Suppose oscillation first video I have made. Oscillation video 1. It is video 2. It is video 3. And video 4. And video 5. We have finished the chapter oscillation. So this oscillation video 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have seen that some students didn't see this first video. They have not watched this. They have not watched the second also. But they watched the third video. How is it possible? If you can't visualize this first and second video, you can't get a better understanding for third. Okay. So some of them it is seen that they can't watch this 4 video, directly watch the last one. It's a horrible. Remember, when you want to understand the whole concept, you must go for first video, then second, then third, then fourth, then fifth. Then you will understand the concept. If you jump directly, just switching this 4, directly jump to 5th video, might be you can't understand anything. Why so? Because whatever the topic in the video 5, the basic of this is given in 4, 3, 2 and 1. So when you watch the video, watch it serially. See the first video, then second, third, fourth and fifth. I hope you can understand well. Just try to watch it and just try to read it from the book. Thank you.